So, Aspergers and emotions. Okay, we've got a lot to cover. Hey guys, welcome back to the Aspie world. My name is Dan. I have Asperger syndrome, ADHD, OCD and dyslexia, and I make weekly videos on this type of content. So if you're new around here and you'd like to learn more about this subject, remember to hit that subscribe button by clicking the notification bell down below. And if you're watching on Facebook, be sure to give the page a follow. And if you're on Instagram, make sure to follow this account for more autism content just like this. Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the Aspie world, where we think differently daily. I hope you are doing well, different thinker fam. Ooh, and if I have forgotten, please go to autismhacks.net right now and download your free Autism Life Hacks PDF book. And that's autismhacks.net. Super awesome, super free, just for you, from me. Oh, kind of rhymed. A bit weird, wasn't it? Anyway, how's it going, guys? Welcome. Awesome to have you guys here and see everybody just chilling out, having a good time. Now, this video is all about Asperger's and emotions, because autistic people have huge issues trying to portray their emotions, communicate their emotions, and talk about things emotionally. So people on the autism spectrum have difficulty with levels of communication, right? So you could be able to communicate really well verbally and have a conversation about a topic of interest, but when you try to describe how you're feeling, it may be a bit blurred. So autistic people really see things as black and white, you know, that either is everything or nothing. There's no kind of in-between part. But emotions are more complex than black and white. It's not just happy and sad. There's happy and sad, there's miserable, there's moody, then there's slightly happy, there's content, there's satisfaction, there's comfortable. There's loads of different types of emotions. And with that comes a conundrum. You have a person whose brain is wired to just see black and white and have like happy and sad, but then they have these feelings that are in the grey part in the middle and have no way of explaining these. So autistic people usually will get into trouble with the way that they can't communicate their emotion feelings. You know, how are they feeling? What is the ability to know oneself and one's feelings? And then how do you unearth, project that to somebody and tell them how you feel? So this could be difficult for people in relationships. It could be difficult for any type of relationship. If you're a parent and your kid's on the spectrum and you don't know how they're feeling and you're asking them and they're getting frustrated because they can't tell you, it's because they haven't the ability to communicate how they feel. But there are ways around it. You can use symbols and symbol kind of sheets. So you could use emojis to say, like, pick the emoji that best describes how you feel. How are you feeling? Or just use an emoji to tell me how you feel right now or what's going on. And that emoji will represent a feeling and an emotion. And that feeling and emotion would be the best way for you to kind of digest that. Another way is to have like a piece of paper with like happy and sad and then a line in the middle to show the grey area bit and say like, this is really happy, this is really sad, where are you on this scale? And get them to like draw an X on the scale. That way you'll gauge where they are, where their emotions are. I know it's very basic and quite a primitive way of doing it, but when you're dealing with the fact that autistic people, you know, we have issues trying to communicate those issues at the best of times, let alone when you are, you know, maybe you're having an overload, maybe you're having a meltdown, maybe you're feeling sad or angry, or there could be all kinds of stuff going on at that moment in time when you're trying to explain your emotions. Now, emotions also come from the fact that you know how other people feel. You can put yourself in their perspective, and then you can also kind of guess how they're feeling from stuff. But autistic people cannot do this because knowing what another person's doing is kind of like the unwritten rules of society that nobody tells you. You have to kind of just pick this up, and for autistic people it's difficult to communicate that because it's not how our brains are wired. Other than that, also checking out people's faces for emotions. You can convey emotion through your face, but autistic people can't read this signal from people's faces. So you can just imagine when it comes to an autistic person trying to communicate how they feel through their face and their facial expressions, it's never going to happen, because if you can't communicate it verbally, then you won't be able to communicate it through your facial expressions. This is why those icons and images are probably the best way to communicate certain ways of feelings and emotions to another person, because of the way that people deal with emotions and feelings. Now, the takeaway from this basically is that autistic people do need a little bit of extra time, support and help when dealing with emotions. And it's not to go in all guns blazing and being like, hey, you know, you guys need to do this, do that, and blah, blah, blah. It's more like an understanding. Okay, I understand that you know, you have a difficulty with emotions, you can't read facial expressions, you can't explain your emotional feelings, and to communicate your emotions, it's a difficult task. So find ways around it, find ways of communicating. It's all part of this kind of understanding perspective that you'll have when you go, okay, I get it. They can't understand like that, so let's do it another way. Like I said, try use emojis, try use icons, try use symbols, try use the chat. There are so many different ways. Communication isn't just a one set thing for everybody, you know? Just think about yourself. I'm sure there's other ways that you don't communicate the same as somebody else, right? And because of that, you need to just give that leeway to people on the autism spectrum and just say like, okay, well, I get it. Now, if you have anything to add to this conversation, pop it in a comment down below. I'd love to, have that conversation with you. I read every comment, so that's super awesome. Also, guys, if you want to share this video on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, that'd be super amazing. And give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, because that would be awesome. All right, guys, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.